are here because from what I understand, she said it. Now she's bringing it. This person started educating women about healthy living in 2004. When she received her lifestyle and weight management coaching, she has published 2 Yes, Real Women books and currently working on Yes, Real Women Lose Weight. Did you hear me? I heard some of y'all ask me about these ads. Pay attention. Now, this book is available today. Book 1 and 2, correct, Miss Linda? Or just the 1?
1 or 2.
You can get 2, okay? Her passion is to help us reach our ultimate health goals. And by doing so, you got to grab the book. With no further introduction, I bring to you Linda Hawkins.
Yay!
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. I am so glad to see all of you here this morning to talk about reinventing yourself. Why should menopausal women use valet parking? Valets don't forget where they park their car. If you're looking for stability in your life, befriend a woman in menopause. Suddenly, everything else in your life will seem rock solid stable. What's the difference between a pit bull and a woman in menopause? Lipstick. Today, we're going to cover several different things. And one is the butterfly's journey, what it means to reinvent yourself, the cycle of reinventing as it is related to premenopause, perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. Celebrating menopause, because it is time to actually celebrate, which means pursuing happiness, have a spirit of gratitude, eating happy foods, and then of course I'll have a conclusion for you today. When we hear about menopause, or when we talk to an individual about menopause, the majority of the time it is negative communication, negative dialogue. They talk about their night sweats and their hot flashes, and they can't sleep at night, and that there's anxiety and the heart palpitations, and they just believe they're going crazy. But I am here to talk about the other side of it, because I believe that there is a reason to celebrate menopause. And here's some more. My husband has been unhappy with my mood swings, bought me a mood ring so he would be able to monitor my moods. We've discovered that when I'm in a good mood, it turns green. When I'm in a bad mood, it leaves a big red mark on his forehead. Maybe next time he'll buy me a diamond. The most effective way to discuss the difference of opinion with a woman in menopause is to keep your mouth shut. Let's look at some of the celebrating that can go on. I want you to come in today with an open mind, because I want you to leave with positive thinking, a new way of seeing menopause. We're going to talk about reinventing, in a chapter of changing, how the chapter has changed. This is your time. This is when you can do you. Many of us are empty nesters, or getting really close to being empty nesters, and you can follow your passion. Let me tell you a story about my passion. Several years ago, I was working at Sinclair Community College full-time, and I woke up one morning and I thought, I'm getting really close to 50. If I'm going to do anything, I need to do it now. It's like I'm thinking I'm going to die or something. But I just had that urgency in my mind. And I had been at Sinclair for 18 years and decided to quit my job. So I stepped out on faith and I quit my job, and I went downtown and opened up a old-fashioned candy and souvenir store, because that was my passion. And Joni was my partner. She was right next door to me, matter of fact. And I loved what I was doing. I loved it. I have to tell you, I didn't make a dime. Those 2 years, I didn't make a dime, but that was okay. Every morning I would get up and I would look forward to going to my candy store. meeting new people. I had some wonderful customers, didn't have a large number of customers, but that was okay. I enjoyed the ones that did come in and would share their life with me. And I have to say that if I were to make any changes in my life, that would not be one of them. I would go back and do that again because that was my passion at the time. I believe that we are like butterflies, and I'm going to pretty much carry this theme throughout. Initially, we're like a caterpillar, and the caterpillar is a creepy creature. A lot of people don't like to touch it. You don't like to look at it because if you look at it closely, you see it's a really strange looking creature. But it has a job to do, and that is to transform. It will transform in a cocoon. And then after the period of that cocoon, it comes out as this beautiful, beautiful butterfly. The butterfly has lots of color, design. It shows you that you've gone from one thing and transformed into another. And that beauty is what you are moving towards today, the beauty of that butterfly. Just a couple of quotes. Why do we reinvent ourselves? People are looking for greater meaning, says Mark Friedman. And I've always been inspired by people who, as I say, never face the facts. The facts, the statistics can be daunting and keep anyone from starting anything. Better to create your own facts and forge ahead against all odds and at any age, according to Marlo Thomas. When it comes to reinventing ourselves, each one of us are going to be doing something differently or have already started doing something differently. Some may choose to go back to school and get an education. Some of you are currently in school or just finished your degree. Some of you are going to be going into other career choices, and that could be anything as like culinary arts. You might decide to go into politics. You might decide you want to be a teacher now, or someone who stands at the door at Walmart and says, "Welcome to Walmart." But that's what you want to do. That's your passion, to be around people. I give this example by showing you some women who I know have reinvented themselves. And many of you know these ladies as well. You have a wide variety of careers here. You have actors, you have movie stars, there's comedians in this group, authors, talk show hosts, game show hosts, such a variety. And some of them are doing more than one or have done several different things. Like we know that Whoopi has been an actress as well as a mother, as well as a talk show host, as well as a comedian. So I call them chapter hoppers because what they do is they hop from one chapter, they close that book, and they open up another chapter, and they just move on. And that's what we do as well. We're chapter hoppers. We are mothers. Some of us are career women. Some of us are retired. We work in the church. We do so many different things in our lives. But at this point in time, I want you to look at what your passion is. I have selected two women that have affected me in my life, Danny Johnson and Oprah Winfrey. Danny Johnson is someone that I became familiar with over, I said 15 years ago, because my husband and I have always been into multi-level marketing, and we used her as one of our mentors back then. And she has a story to tell. I'm going to read this about Danny Johnson. Currently, Danny is a speaker and a motivator who leads others into life-changing success. When Danny grew up, she grew up into a addictive home life. Her parents were into drugs, both of them, and her father was abusive. And at 17, she became pregnant. At 17, she left home and she was on her own. As a teenager, she's always been an entrepreneur, and she liked nice things. So she decided to actually work with a company that allowed her to sell their product. And by age 21, she became their top salesperson. Around this time, she met a man and she married him. And he talked to her into moving to Hawaii. She moved to Hawaii with this man, and he turned out to be a con man. He took everything that she had and left her for broke. She had nothing. Because of the state of mind, she ended up depressed. She lost her job. She lost her home. And she ended up living in her car. She was homeless. And she said that he left her with $2.03 to her name. So being the type of person she was, she didn't let that get her down. So she began to work out of her car and a phone booth. She began to sell products, she said, out of the trunk of her car. Now, she decided that if she was going to make it, she had to do whatever it took to do that. So she continued this for 12 months. She had no home, so she didn't have a phone. And she ended up selling $250,000 worth of merchandise. And this got her back on her feet again. She found someone, remarried, built a large weight loss building. Now, the weight loss program was a business that she could do out of her car. So she continued the weight loss service, and then she ended up having various weight loss centers. So she had several weight loss buildings. One day she began to feel unfulfilled. She felt like she had met her goals and she wanted to do something different. And she thought, well, this is no longer it. She went home and decided to just be a mother, raise her children, and be a good wife. And she decided this is probably the end of her entrepreneurship career. And she said God spoke to her and said, no, this is not it. This is not it. You're going to be doing greater things. And she stepped out again. She later sold her weight loss business, and the weight loss center she had developed, became a multi-millionaire as a result of that. She does this on a part-time basis where she just reaches out to people and teach them to do what she did while she was climbing up the ladder of success. And then you have Oprah Winfrey. A lot of us know Oprah's story, who also started in very humble means. She was an adolescent who was abused. She ended up moving with her father, went to college, was at several different TV and radio stations. When she was in Chicago, she did the AM Chicago show, and she was in a competitive slot along with Phil Donahue, I should say against Phil Donahue. And her viewership grew so large that she was called by ABC to start the Oprah Winfrey Show. She also was an actress because she did The Color Purple during that time. The Oprah Winfrey Show was so successful, she was able to buy that from ABC, and she actually had Harpo Productions as the beginning, her beginning production companies. And today, as we know, she has her own TV station. So Oprah has gone many, many different routes and many different directions. Now, I show you individuals who have dealt with fame and fortune, but I also want to show you that there are also people who choose to just change themselves physically. These two women are showing you, for those who, hopefully you can see it in the back, bodybuilders who chose to change their body physically. So it's not always about going into business to reinvent yourself. It's about what works for you. What is your passion? And I know a lot of people are very much into their body. This is a story that I am so affected by. This is Miss Ernestine Shepherd. I don't know how many of you have heard of Miss Ernestine Shepherd. She is the Guinness World Book Record holder of the oldest bodybuilder, female bodybuilder. She's 77 years old. At 56, she decided to exercise. She said she'd never done any exercise before in her life. Her and her sister came together and said, we need to work out. We were trying to wear these bathing suits, and these bathing suits look awful. We need to do something about it. So her sister said, let's start working out. So she agreed. Shortly after that, her sister passed away, and she decided to continue it on. Well, at 70-something, 74, 75, she became a bodybuilder. At 74 or 75, she became a bodybuilder. And that's how she won the honor. That is just amazing to me. It goes to show you that it's never too late.
That's right.
As long as you're breathing, as long as you're here, it's never too late to claim your passion. Some of you are sitting right here in this room, things that you've been wanting to do and you have not stepped forward on it. And I'm here to say, I'm a prime example. You step forward if it's something you want to do. All right, I want to show you, kind of look at why now, why do we choose to make changes in our lives? And this is a chart that shows the difference in our estrogen level, because it's not just something that happens to you physically, it also happens to you mentally and emotionally when you begin to decide that I need to do something different, I want to make a change in my life. From 0 to 35, we're in the premenopause stage, and you are at a normal reproductive years. Those are your normal reproductive years. And that just means that your estrogen level is at its highest. Okay, and that's usually when they say between 30 and 35, your biological clock is ticking, because they know that your estrogen is going to be dropping shortly after 35. So at 35 to 45 is when you usually enter into perimenopause. And perimenopause is when we experience all those crazy symptoms. And I'll have a list of the symptoms shortly after this slide. When you begin to experience those heart palpitations and anxiety attacks, and you look at how dry your skin is and your eyes water constantly, and incontinence becomes a real issue. So that's during the perimenopause stage. And then there's menopause. It's slowly declining during menopause, and it says that it is a permanent cessation period. That means that the period is ending. When you have no period for 12 consecutive months, at that point you are menopause. 12 consecutive months. During that perimenopause stage, though, it may go up and down. I mean, your cycle may be so erratic. One month it might be 3 days, the next month it might be 7 days, and the next month you may skip it entirely. So that's what's going on. And then after the menopause stage, after that year, you are in postmenopause. And you see how the estrogen just levels out at that point? Okay? This is a list of the symptoms. I'll give you a few seconds to look at the symptoms. So you can see shortly after I finish, you're going to start collecting. But anyway, the symptoms are hot flashes, heart disease, osteoporosis, weight gain. Women are, well, why do I gain this weight around the middle and I can't get rid of it?
Yep.
It's because your estrogen has changed.
Yep.
You have headaches, short attention span. Somebody can be talking to you and next thing you know, your attention is over there. It's like, oh, excuse me, weren't we just having a conversation? My husband said, I am the worst person when there's somebody talking to the two of us. He said, you walk away every single time and you leave me there standing with them. I'm no longer interested, so I just move on. I just move on. Okay. Next one. Okay. The other reasons why we begin to have this urge to make changes is because we are different from our mothers and our grandmothers and their parents. I say that they live in black and white and we live in living color. When you look at pictures of women in their 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s, they look really stern and everything is in black and white. When they were raised pretty much to raise a family. That was their charge, that was their job. Or they might work the land. If they happen to be a worker or someone who went to work, then 9 times out of 10 they would work that job 30, 40 years, retire, and then we used to say they're out to pasture afterwards. But all women up today, we don't go out to pasture today. We do skiing, we do surfing, become painters, we become photographers, we live in color, we do wonderful things, just like that butterfly went from the caterpillar to all those beautiful bright colors, and that's who we are today. We're also living longer. Most women live to the age of 86. That's our lifespan now. So the first 35 years, you can't see the 35 years, but the first 35 years of that pie, that's the 0 to perimenopause. And then the next year is the menopause, and then the postmenopause stage. And the perimenopause is about 15 years of your life. For those of you who wonder how long am I going to be dealing with this, it's 15 years for most of us. For some of us, it never stops. But the postmenopause stage is about 35 years. That means you have 3 decades of life left to do something. 3 decades of life. So 35 years, and that's a very long time. And that's why we choose to do other things and have the ability to do other things. And the last thing is we have a leap of faith. We believe that we can do more. We step out knowing that something will happen. It might be good, it may not be so good, but at least you have the faith enough to step out and see what happens. And I hope I'm talking to someone today who's trying to decide which way to go on something. It's time to step out and to make it happen. I created a cycle, a reinventing cycle, because I believe that at each one of these stages, something ought to happen in your life. And if you've missed that particular cycle, that's okay, you can still do it. So for the first one, which is a pre-menopause stage, I believe that that's the time we need to start planning what we want to do. You can't just go and do something. You need to have a plan of action. When I decided I was going to create Savvy Health Coaching, for those of you who know what Savvy Health Coaching is, it's my actual business where I do individual coaching, individuals who want to lose weight, those who want to make a change in their lifestyle, and to coach people about menopause. I knew that I had to put together a plan. So my daughter and I, we went to Columbus and created a strategic plan. All day long, we worked on a strategic plan. And that plan includes what my goals were going to be for the first year, second year, the 5-year goal, and the 10-year goal. And then step by step, how am I going to meet those goals? You got to have action steps. What am I going to do to make it happen? So the action steps, and then the key indicators. What things had to be completed in order to me to say that I am successful. The other item is the preparation component. That's during the perimenopause. And I have that during perimenopause because our life is usually so busy during that time. And you need to get prepared for where you want to be. Preparation could mean training, getting another education, or education in exactly what you want to go into. Find a mentor, find someone to talk to who's doing exactly what you want to do, or who can lead you in the right direction. If it's going to be a brick and mortar, start looking for a location. Talk to a realtor like Kim and find a place for that business. And if it's a multi-level marketing and you've identified what it's going to be, find the multi-level marketing person and what does it cost to invest? What do you get with the kit? What kind of training will you get? You should know all of that as your preparation component. That's doing perimenopause. And then menopause, which is 1 year, is executing. You got all these plans in place, now do it. That's always been my motto. Just do it. Nike thought it was theirs, but it was really my motto. I believe in that. I truly live to that. You need to just do it. If somebody gives you an idea, do it. And I say use that 1 year to really push yourself. When you get up in the morning, you're going to focus on doing that all day long, every day of the week until it happens. It takes work. It takes a lot of work. And last, I want you to enjoy it. That's you created that passion. Enjoy it now. And you have how many years did I say you have to enjoy it? 35 years during postmenopause. 35 years. You can't beat that. All right, celebrating. Time to celebrate. You have to celebrate menopause. no longer look at the negatives, begin to look at the positives, and you'll find that there are a lot of positives. We did a couple things last year about what are some things that you no longer have to deal with. And we're not going to talk about them, but just think about what are some things you no longer have to deal with now that you're menopausal. Find your passion. I want you to identify that passion right now. Do not wait any longer. Do what makes you happy. This says life should not only be lived, it should be celebrated. Spirit of happiness, you should have show gratitude in your life. Journal it as well as speak it. Write it down and speak it to people. You hear so many negative things. People, they have no problem speaking negatives, but I want people to start speaking positives. When you do that, it becomes contagious and other individuals will speak positives. Gratitude is one of the most medicinal emotions we can feel. It elevates our moods and fills us with joy. Be loving and be giving. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. That's Maya Angelou. And people know when you care about them. When you're loving, people are nurtured and cared by you. They have positive feelings about you. And I always ask this of people. Are people happy to see you coming or happy to see you going? Which are you? All right, now this is a very quick one. I'm gonna see how wise you are. This is my little quiz. Eat to be Happy was created by Chef George Cruz. He is an author and he wrote several fitness books. And he came up with a list of foods that make you feel good because they promote your happy hormones. So the first one is nuts. Which nuts make you feel happy because they create or induce happy hormones? Peanuts, walnuts, cashews, or almonds? Question. Click. Very good. Which carbohydrates produce happy hormones? Potato chips, whole grain bread, potato, donuts. No, just whole grain bread. Which leafy green vegetables promote happiness? Spinach, romaine lettuce, or cabbage? Spinach. Which fruit? Apple, pineapple, banana? Banana. Very good. In conclusion, it is time for you to connect with your passion, to discover your new life purpose, and to get some goals for yourself that will make you stretch. It's time for you to empower yourself with a plan for an extraordinary future as you look forward to the next few decades. For women over 40, over 50, over 60, over 70, the possibilities are endless, and you must embrace change with enthusiasm. You can make a wish, or you can make it happen. Thank you.
I am so glad that I came to Real Women's Conference 3 with Linda Hawkins that she's putting on. I recently lost my job in March, and as an engineer and quality manager, I'm totally reinventing myself. So, turning the bad thing into a positive. And this is really inspirational and very educational for my journey in doing that. So if you're not here today and you're not coming, then you need to come next year.
For me, the conference has provided a great sense of reassurance that I'm not alone. The diversity of women around the table is incredible. And it's just nice to know that you're not alone in this period of change in your life.
This is my second year attending the Yes, Real Women Do Sweat conference, and the conference has been very informational for me because I am a younger woman. I'm in my 30s, entering my 40s, and I've been learning a lot of good information about menopause and healthier living and taking care of myself. So so far the experience has been wonderful. I've also had the opportunity to sell my products, and I just really enjoy the opportunity that Linda has given me to learn more and to expand my business.
It is nothing but an honor to give a grand opinion about Yes, Real Women Do Sweat. It is very easy reading. I have read the book throughout. It is entertaining as well as informational. What I appreciate the most is the fact that I'm aware of information that I might have been oblivious to on my own. So I thank you for the research that has been done for me, so I know what to expect so that I too may go through this period gracefully.
What a great day. It's an awesome time of support for all women, and love to see people come out and do this the next time you get the opportunity. There is something for everybody, whether you're looking for health, wellness, financial planning, support. It's all right here, and we're having a great time.
Hi, my name is Cookie Valentine. I am actually here today attending the women's conference. It's always an honor to come out with women to share and talk about the issues of women. The speakers and presenters here today have awesome topics, all that are pertinent to us. So it's just a time of sharing and a time of educating, and it's always a pleasure to be around women that bring this type of information, important information, to the forefront. So I'm enjoying myself, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day today.